What up, everybody? Taking Blanca out for a ride. '71 Datsun 240Z, triple 44 Makunis, L24 aboard to a L27, 2.5 inch exhaust, all the way out to a MagnaFlow muffler. Sounds good. Took her out for a little ride. Sorry, the phone's so damn close. Oh yeah, sounds good. I don't get to drive her that often, maybe a few times a month. But when you live in San Diego, any day is really a good day to drive an old Z car. We have had a little bit of rain lately, but not too much. Sprinkles pretty much for the rest of the country out there is getting bombarded with stuff. We get little bits and pieces of rain. So yeah, this is my '71 Datsun 240Z. For those out there who are just seeing this for the first time on YouTube, I'm Mike Ryan, long time Z Club member from San Diego. Had many Z cars. I've quite a few videos on YouTube, nothing special. Some videos of me selling my cars, and some videos of me in Blanca or driving Blanca around, which is my Z car. I know it's kind of lame to name your cars, but this is the only car I've ever named. Although I did name my Subaru, my WRX. So my second car. This is the first car I've ever named. But anyways, head up to my boy's shop. Talk about getting some work done. This guy right here. I gotta watch out for idiots on the road, man. It's getting bad out there. Yeah, so I'm a longtime Z lover. I've been a Z guy for about over 20 years. I've been a club member for about 20. Next month I think it'll be 20 years, my 20-year anniversary. And I love Z's, man. They're great cars. You know, back 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, you could buy a Z car dime a dozen. And nowadays, you see buckets out there going for 10 grand. I mean, buckets. I'm sitting to myself going, a car that was $10,000 20 years ago was freaking mint. That car was unbelievably clean. No rust, interior is perfect, paint was great, you know, nice wheels and tires. Nowadays, to buy a Z car, they're up with that. They're starting to get up to that upper echelon. You know, you got to have cash, you got to have some money to buy a really nice, clean one. And because of the way the cars were designed and prepared from Japan before they sent them out here to the US, there wasn't a lot of rust proof going on. So these cars tend to rust from the inside out. And once you start having rust coming from the inside out, you can't just shave it down from the outside and then Bondo it and call it a day, because it's going to rust again. So you got to really get underneath the surface and clean it up nice, and try to treat it as much as possible. Your best bet, if you can afford it, is to strip it down and do a rotisserie on it, get it from the inside out. Just put a bunch of rust proof in it. I mean, I'm not a paint body guy, but at least that's what I would imagine you'd be able to do, or you want to do with the car that is prone to rust, is to pull it apart, get as much rust proof as possible on the inside, so that way any moisture that gets in there is not going to create any rusting issues. But these are great cars, other than the fact that, you know, rust being one of the foremost problems with these cars, and exhaust fumes. They're real prone for that because of the design of the back hatch. It's a beautiful car. You look at it, the lines are just timeless. You know, it's a 71, so we're looking at 47 years here. My car's in August of 71, so you know, it's 46 and a half years and still going strong. This is not the original motor, but it is an L24 that, like I said before, was bored out to a 2.7. Previous owner gave me as many details as possible. I had the car for about 4.5 years, and I'm the fourth owner. I know that. The car's been a California car its whole life. The second owner, which was the son of the original owner, was a Datsun mechanic back in the day, and tore this car apart, cleaned it up, you know, painted the engine bay, got a, at the time was probably a decent, you know, paint job for the money, and you know, built the motor. Now when I bought the car had triple Weber 40s on it, and those took a little bit, you know, getting used to doing the tuning on it. You know, I'm not a mechanic, and I tinker a little bit with my cars, but I've had some really good close friends to help me with getting this car running good. We got the Webers dialed in nicely, you know, changing some jets and whatnot, and the car ran like a bat out of hell. So fast forward a couple years, you know, I've always wanted a set of Makunis on a Z car, and I came across some 44s from a reputable guy who built them, and I was like, well, you know, I can't say no to that. So I sold off some stuff, purchased my first set of Makunis, and man, they're wicked. You know, they still need tuning. The car's running a bit lean, but you know, it's jetting, getting the right jets for my setup. You know, I don't know the internals of my engine, so I couldn't tell you, you know, the cam on it, you know, the lift, any of that stuff. I couldn't tell you any of that stuff. I don't know what's been done, but according to my buddy who's kind of torn into the car a little bit, the head's definitely had some work done to it. It's an E31 head, so this thing really winds out nicely. Probably the nicest car I've owned, at least in the top 2 or 3, and I've had a lot of Z cars. I've had about 13 Zs altogether, about 10 240Zs. And this car really winds out nice. Got the Subaru limited slip differential in the back, 354 gears, and they, you know, 354 gears are good. They're fine. Probably do a little bit better if I had 3.9s, you know, a 3.9 rear end. But you know, 354 is fine. So I don't know if you can hear the squeaking. I got Hawk brake pads up front. You know, for having stock brakes, the Hawk pads really improve the stop ability with this car. It's a light car. It doesn't need a whole lot to stop, but it's really good to have a good set of pads to kind of aid in that. Because these brakes, once you put power under the hood, a little more power, draw some vacuum, causes the brakes to not, I guess, not clamp as hard as they would have in stock form with an unmodified engine. So, but that's, at least that's what I've been told, and I've kind of noticed that. You know, once you start modifying the engine and making some changes here and there, higher compression motor and all that cam and all that stuff, I guess it takes some vacuum away from the booster. I don't know. Anybody who's an expert out there could probably tell me something different, but I've run around these cars long enough to know that I think I'm pretty spot on with that, or close to being accurate with that. But it stopped great now. My goal is to upgrade the brakes all the way around. I want to go disc in the back and upgrade the front brakes. And you know, I don't have a whole lot of things that need to be done on this car. It's more want. I'm gonna probably go with some BC coilovers. There's a lot of options out there, but it seems like for the money and for what BC has to offer with replaceable parts and things like that, and the warranty, seems like BC's probably the way to go. I know a few of my buddies are running BCs on their cars and they like them, so can't hurt, you know. But anyways, heading out, cruising around. Hope everybody's having a great day. Some of my Z buddies out there, take the Z out, take the old lady out, stretch her legs a bit, have a little fun. We'll be chatting with you guys real soon. Later.